blessed me through my hard times. Jail cells and penitentiaries, bad marriages, foul living. Brought me through all of it, and I thank you for being my Lord and Savior. I walk and talk to preach the word of God with no shame. I seek to help the weak, release the seat like hot flames. I'm heavy in the game, ordained to make the rain. Devoted with the motive, Holy Spirit in my vein. When I'm baptized to be, the Holy Ghost is released. Destroy the enemy, blessed to be a holy priest. Evangelize the truth, I gotta set some soul free. Me and my saints, we roll deep, I guarantee you know me. Down in the dirty, all my saints stay thirsty. For the word of God, gotta get to church early. Worship with the sun and watch the Holy Ghost come. When my lyrics tear through the air, the devil better run. Attack with the tongue, boy, here it comes. God's words are notional, proverbs and songs coming through your ears. A true holy rider, doing God's work like the prophet they call a liar.
Thank you for giving all your love. You were the only one there when things got rough. My Lord, my God, my Savior, your power reigns from up above. Thank you for giving all your love. You were the only one there when things got rough. My Lord, my God, my Savior, your power reigns from up above.
I got some letters and some cards from my sisters in Virginia. Robin and Aisha had my back, I remember when I was locked up down in Florida fighting cases. The Lord lifted me up, kept me strong, gave me patience. Daily meditation in His word was my fortune. God gave me power more than 500 horses. He told me, Bert, work with son, get the job done. Preach to the people, make me number one in your life, day and night. Take it wrong to the right. Help your fellow man, don't fuss and don't fight. Set aside pride, open up your eyes, stop telling lies. A word to the wise, we can never hide. God sees it all, even in the darkest night, He is the fog. Yes, yes, y'all, check the flow. I gotta let you know, this is how the chorus goes.
Thank you for giving all your love. You were the only one there when things got rough. My Lord, my God, my Savior, your power reigns from up above. Thank you for giving all your love. You were the only one there when things got rough. My Lord, my God, my Savior, your power reigns from up above.
We all need to understand God has a master plan. Open up your ears so you can hear His demand. Get saved, man, judgment day's at hand. Or go to hell and be that fish in the frying pan. You know what I'm saying, we heard it all before. Go to church and see them hypocrites fall to the floor. This is my report, I tell it like it is. The church was set to free, my mama told me as a kid. Sin will condemn each and every person living in the world doing dirt like the serpent. You need to start searching your heart and your mind. Get right with God before you run out of time. That's the bottom line, God gave us free will. Make the right choice and let Him show you what's real. I thank you for my breath of life, I thank you for the word. Saved by God's grace, much more than I deserve.
Thank you for giving all your love. You were the only one there when things got rough. My Lord, my God, my Savior, your power reigns from up above. Thank you for giving all your love. You were the only one there when things got rough. My Lord, my God, my Savior, your power reigns from up above.
Hey, welcome to Joyful Heart Praise again. I'm your host, Geraldine.
I'm Letha.
Another time, Marcus.
And today, did you hear him? Did you hear him?
We heard it.
What your name is?
Oh, you hear him, Marcus? No, nothing.
They heard me.
All right, we're glad you joined us today. Today we're going to be talking about racism. We're going to talk about how Marcus is dark-skinned, but he's white on the inside.
Who,
And-
me?
I thought you were going to play that part today. I thought he said he was going to play that part. He told me he was going to play that part.
Okay,
today.
I'll be.
Okay. What's your view on racism in the church today?
I got to start.
Well, since she threw that bus at you and you caught it.
I mean, you caught the bus, so I mean.
Can we just start with racism as a whole and then go to the church?
There we go.
Yeah.
That works.
Okay.
Racism was really bad today. I'm not going to put the blame
Song
on
the answer?
anybody. I'm not going to put the blame
We're going on general. Forget the question I asked you.
I'm not going to put the blame on tell anybody. I'm just saying that somebody at the top is making everybody at the bottom feel comfortable about using the
Hey, no, I can't let you stand
and
there.
using
I can't let you blame it on
S
him.
word. What's the
I
S
can't
word
let you
again?
blame that.
You don't feel that's the truth?
No, I think they've been comfortable before he got there.
No, they've gotten a lot more comfortable.
It has not been exposed
Nah, that's because y'all in my head.
someone
where I
gave
come
the
from.
approval and has neglected. I'm trying to use a big word.
Neglected?
Negated the
Whatever,
affirmative
I don't know
action.
which word that is.
The affirmative action.
I want
What's
to
the
hit
word?
on what Ty just said because I just had a conversation in an arena. I don't want to say what it is because then people will be able to pinpoint exactly what it is, and I don't want to bring any bad press to that. But
Okay.
I did have a conversation with someone, and they made a statement that I never thought of, and that was he said the reason why this person's in the military. He said the reason why we recognize it first or more than the average people in this setting is because the military is always training on equity, sexual harassment, that type of thing. So I go back to Ty's statement, and that is when he said, no, it's always been there. I look at where Ty's come from. Ty is a New Yorker, right? Us here on the West Coast, our racism is very subtle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If anybody's blatant with
Used to
it,
be.
like it's
That's a
called out,
surprise.
right? It's like, whoa.
Retaliation, and they get in trouble.
Right.
They get in trouble.
Right, but when you got somebody like Ty that's come from New York, where it might be more prevalent there, then they can sense it and pick up on it way quicker than someone who may already be used to this area. And so I can agree with both. I have felt like Geraldine, where I said, you know, because of some of the things that have happened, because of some of the responses that have stopped, people feel more comfortable
being open about their racism.
But when I hear someone like Ty say, nah, they've been like that, I tend to respect now, okay, he has a different lens.
So,
that he's more sensitive, where he can see it probably before I do because of where I'm at.
And not only the different lens, but it's different regions, different areas where people feel comfortable they can show how they really feel. Like maybe Washington is not a place where you'll see so much prevalent. But if you
Well,
go...
I gotta change because that goes back to his statement. Being from Washington, you may not see it, but I see it all the time.
Well,
No. I see it all the time. But what I'm saying is,
it started from the top.
Oh,
the
I feel
new
you.
administration.
I totally
and
feel
because
you.
of that, and his
People have
open,
gotten more
or excuse me,
comfortable.
that person's blatant racism, it's all getting exposed because there's no repercussion now for any of the things you do and say.
And
When
other
can you?
time, I'm not saying that it
that
wasn't
man
there.
went to New York.
I'm just
to
saying
kill
it's more
a black
in the
man.
forefront.
He went there for the purpose to kill a black person. And I don't know even to this day of what happened to that guy.
But even in that, I'm gonna address what Letha just said. It's more in the forefront. Again, but where I come from, it's always been in the forefront.
Yeah,
It ain't
but
never been in the background.
It hasn't always been in the forefront here.
In Washington?
In different areas,
I would say-
depending on the area.
I would say
Depending
that's
on
based
the
Like
area.
upon what
if
Marcus
you went
said.
to Tenino,
It's always been there.
Tenino is not
been there
biting their
since-
tongue. They don't like no black folk.
Right,
Matter of fact,
well,
they
I'm
gave
saying,
us
though,
a
it depends.
countdown
So
on when
areas-
to leave their church because they pastor of that church in that town did not consult with them about having African American churches up in there. And
Oh,
so
I'm
we
sure.
got
If you go
in
to Shelton,
there.
you'll find the same thing.
Yeah.
I've come across
I
some
don't
very
know. I just
uncomfortable
coming
situations.
from my experience in New York and living across this nation, across this world. I have to really stand by the fact that I think those who have been sheltered from it now can see it, but it's always been here. Since the beginning
And
of
I
time.
agree with you. I said it's always been here, but see, this is where I'm going to tell you, this is where I see the difference. So, there's been situations where people have low-key had their moments.
They call it microaggression.
Right, where they do that,
Microaggression.
where they, you know,
Oops, I did it.
pretty much telling you that they don't want you in their vicinity
Without
saying the word.
Yes, they call that
However, now I've seen the same situation where they're not micro nothing. where they're just blatantly like,
Yeah.
I don't like your color, I don't like what you stand for, I don't like this and this and that, not even knowing really what we stand for. But I've seen them change from hiding it or being passive aggressive about it to just being straightforward.
Yeah.
In the last few years.
And for
And
me,
you'll go
that
to
was
a
crazy
restaurant
because
and
it's
they'll
always
just
been
let you
like
sit
that.
there
Right.
and not even take your order.
Hearing like hearing that, right? We wouldn't even sat there that long. Like it's for me. I had a friend of mine in the military. He's from Idaho, and he was like, "Ty, why are we leaving?" I said, "They're not gonna serve us, bro."
See,
But
that's
see,
right there.
But
That's
see,
the
you
difference.
sit there that long because
No, I didn't sit there. He was gonna sit there
not
long.
you.
I
I'm
was
just
out.
saying. I would have sat there because I'm not used to them doing that.
Exactly.
So then it takes me a minute, like, hey, you ain't
To
even
recognize what's going on.
Right.
Exactly.
So
And
see,
once
and the
that
difference-
happens,
Yeah, the difference that changes, at one point, they would serve you,
Yeah.
but they would give you bad service.
Or they'll
Yeah.
spit in your food.
Or they be
so you can't
rude
eat
or
it.
whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Shut up, Ty, man. I
So-
don't want to think about that.
So,
Oh, I've seen that.
So they went from the passive aggressive, bringing you food that you didn't ask for, making it rare when you wanted it,
Needed
well, and all that
cold.
stuff. They've gone from that to I'm just not coming to your table.
You're
at
not
all.
welcome here. Can you leave?
or we need you to pay for your food before we'll.
Right.
Oh, that's happened to me so many times.
That happened
Take
in
your
Federal
order,
Way at
but you gotta
Jenny's
prove it.
to two
Pay
young
for it.
boys. They went in there to sit down and eat, and the waitress said, "You need to pay for your food before I will serve."
Hey, now.
Don't do
Y'all
it.
ain't
man.
never did
Don't do it.
eating dashes?
No, I did not.
You did that in the world?
I was raised
I did that in the world. I
okay.
did an eating dash.
Okay.
I did
that.
it.
Here's what we did. We would set the person up that went to the bathroom.
Right.
So when they came
Oh,
back, they had to pay.
No. The
We
person
never
that went to
just-
the bathroom knew that we was going to the car. So when you come out the bathroom, go straight to the door. That's what they knew.
Oh, that's
Wow,
crazy.
I've never done that.
Man, so not to say. Now wait, I'm not saying
That's a PK.
I'm not saying
my
that.
check.
Hey,
PK
listen.
doing this.
I'm not saying that to say that now it's okay to
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
change, and because I see two black kids, I think they're gonna eat and dash. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But what I
But
am saying
that's
is on the
what
same
happened.
token is that
That's
I've
what
done
happened.
it. You know what I'm saying?
That's-
So if you're gonna make that change, make that change across the board. You feel what I'm saying?
Well,
I mean, that's
you know what
way
the
you
deal
do that.
is back at a certain time, there was a stage where you guys just being teenagers and they seen y'all as just being kids.
Right.
But now they just see you as the
But
N-word.
again, you keep saying
And-
now. For me,
It's
always.
It's always been, but
That's what's so
I have to
strange
say
to me.
that
It's so
because
strange to me.
it's just two different
Yeah,
things.
no, I
It's
feel
just
it.
like
I'm
this.
feeling you.
I'll put it this way. The first time I was walking down the street, I was, my grandma sent me to the store and I was like about 7. Because you can go to the store back
Back
then
then,
without
yeah.
getting snatched.
You do that now.
With her note of cigarettes and coffee.
They sold
Right.
you cigarettes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a note
From the
from
note.
your mom.
Because you
From the
knew you
note.
wasn't gonna smoke them.
Right.
But when I was coming back, my grandma always told me if there's more people on the sidewalk, at least stick to one side of the sidewalk so you'll walk by. Well, this Caucasian woman, she was really old, she was pulling her basket, and they were on the sidewalk, so I knew to get, I was pretty much probably going to get in the grass. But then they both got on the street. And I was like, oh, maybe they're just getting in the street. And she says, N-word, you get in the street when you see white people coming. And I said,
What was this?
when was it?
Yeah.
It was when I was 7.
Oh, okay.
So that
I'm
was
sorry.
1970.
Woo! I was turning blue.
1978. 1978. And so I was like, so I thought the N-word was a name. Like my name is Geraldine and your name is Marcus. I thought she
You thought she
mistaked
confused
me.
you with somebody else.
Exactly.
And I was like, I'm not.
So she thought I was back talking when I said, oh, I don't know who that is, ma'am. But if I see that person, I will definitely let him know that you were looking for him.
You sassy little girl.
And that's probably what she thought. So she swung her purse at me.
Mannish.
And so she didn't hit me. But she
Oh, she
could
did?
have.
She could have. What do you mean
She
she
swung it
could
at
have?
me. Because that's
Oh, you mean she had the ability to?
Yeah, she
Oh,
She
okay.
swung her
She was
purse at
swung it at me.
It just
trying
didn't-
to
No,
hit
no,
me.
I'm like, what you mean
Right.
she could? Like, I thought
She was
you
trying to
meant
hit
she
me
had
with
the
her
authority
purse.
to. I was like,
Because
oh,
she
no,
felt
clarify.
disrespected as a Caucasian
And that
woman.
she could actually.
And so when I went home, I said, hey, Grandma, this lady mistook me for somebody named, and I said the word, the N-word, and she said, did she call you that? Or, I said, no, I think she thought that was my name. And my grandma looked at me and busted out laughing.
Cause she's like, this
She
child
said,
don't even know.
you the dumbest smart kid I got.
She got on the phone, she said, child, my baby done thought something. Girl,
She called all the lady at the church. Look at this crazy one now thinking her name done
but she
changed.
stopped, but you know what she
Ain't
said?
been baptized yet, but
She
your name
said-
done changed.
She said, was it an old lady? I said, yes, ma'am. She was
She
real
knew
old.
who it was.
She said, oh, okay.
She knew exactly who it was.
Because my grandma would have went and said where. And
she knew because she done did that before.
Yeah, but she's like, was she an old lady? And then she knew immediately.
Who it was.
Once I said she was an old woman, not who it was, but that
culture.
time.
Yeah, because at that
She
point
knew.
see, that's what I was saying. Like my mom's from Tuskegee, so again, my filter, like y'all was talking about earlier, it's a little bit different. She went through the civil rights. My mom's entire family, uncles, grandma, they all went through that. So I was taught to see it before it got to me.
Okay.
So I would have saw that differently. I'd have walked
Right.
I'd have went so far into the grass that me and this lady would never even have that conversation.
But see, you
Because I
would
was
have
taught that.
known to do
So
that.
they had to
Because back
teach
then,
me.
there was death that came with that.
Even in New
Now it's
York.
a swing of a pork.
Even
Yeah.
in New
Right.
York, a police. See, we have way more police in the city than we do in the country. So if someone, like I'm not shocked now, call the police, somebody's gonna either go to jail or die. That's what the rules have been since I was a little boy. It ain't. So everybody talking about, oh, police brutality. I was like, what's different? Like I got homeboys right now limping because of police brutality when we were 8, 9, 10 years old.
Well, I
So-
was told at one point they weren't police. They were actually slave chasers.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories about
So,
that.
I mean, if that's
But-
the case, then they weren't for us anyway.
But you gotta understand what the acronym police means.
I don't.
What is the acronym?
So there's an acronym. Let me get the exact acronym. This actually, police is not the actual title. It's an actual acronym that someone. I found this out 2 weeks ago. That the word police is an actual acronym, not a.
I tell you, these educated people with Google.
I know. I don't
Tell
know
me,
how
man,
to
Google
use
turned you
Google.
smart, won't he?
I don't know how to use Google.
You better
I
get
wish
up
I
on
did.
that.
Stop it.
I'm gonna look up baloney.
My baloney.
I got it.
It's gonna say you're
Police,
full of it.
police stands for Public Officer for Legal Investigations and Criminal Emergencies. That's why if you notice, police is always in capital letters.
It is all.
Right.
Because it's an acronym.
Because
It's
it's an
not the
acronym.
actual title. So
That's
it
not
actually
true.
was, which is why a lot of times for me, I don't look at them as the quote unquote enemy. Society has always trained people how to think. The newspaper, the word newspaper
I just know
is
they're
an
not
acronym.
for us.
So
They're not for the African American.
see, here's why I halfway disagree.
Justice and not to give us any peace.
I
The
don't.
way they're slaughtering
I don't like
African,
you say
I just
they.
think they've been infiltrated.
No.
I think the police forces, and I think the FBI has been trying to put that out for years.
You think it's like that kind of a
they've been
conspiracy?
Is that
infiltrated by the Ku Klux
I
Klan.
don't think so.
I want
that's
to
why
hear
they-
this whole thought
You just
process.
woke back
I'm
us up.
interrupted. Tell me what you think, Joe.
Okay, this is what I think.
Okay.
When they knew that Trump was being elected, I think they knew that Trump was being elected. There was one police officer, I don't know if you guys remember that police officer, that they hunted down, basically, and said that he killed other officers and that they chased him down into the woods and they killed him.
Okay.
Rumor had it
Rumor had it.
that he had heard how the police was going to start, the Ku Klux Klan and him was going to start infiltrating the police and start slaughtering African American
In
people.
2018?
2016.
Okay. So here's my only issue.
Now I said that's rumor. That's alleged.
Okay,
That rumor
okay,
makes no
okay.
And I
sense,
say
Anyway,
that that's a fact.
Here's my issue.
But when did the
Number one.
serious, obvious slaughtering started?
Time. Time. This was a serious prayer right here.
Prayer answered.
He said, "Let there be
Is
pizza."
this pizza
And what
sitting into his
happened?
mouth?
There was pizza.
Anyway, so listen.
I don't know.
Geraldine.
He came by food.
Now, first of all, we were getting shot by police way before 2016. And the thing that you will find out
I
is with
said
any,
it got noticeable in the news more often.
but it wasn't because of that. It was because people required them to report it. also the news would look quite silly if you have stuff being shown on Facebook and not being covered in the news. That's why they had to start covering it, because even with that, you'll notice we still hear about it on Facebook before we hear about it on the news, because people have a camera out there and they videotaped it. So it was almost forced to come to the... Absolutely.
If you look at my mom from Tuskegee, where did we get all those pictures from with those dogs, those fire hoses, and those churches on fire? This stuff ain't just happened back in 2000. No. We pay attention more because it's not expected to happen.
Right.
So to go back to what he was saying, as black people, we expected violence because of how the society was set up. Right. Now, we've been trying to train us not to expect violence. So that's why social media world has kind of helped with this notoriety of the violence. Because back then, you go through history books and see people being hung.
Right.
Emmett Till, his funeral was broadcasted. So now the expectation is different, because we as liberated thinkers are saying we should not be treated like that. So that's why you see it more.
Social media has required them
it makes it
to give equal time to issues like this.
Right.
Things like this used to be able to be swept under the rug.
Well, that's why
the left end wouldn't know what's happening on the right end.
That's why they would always say, you would see, a lot of people saying, be like, oh, you notice that they broadcasted, that little young white girl that got kidnapped, but this black girl, she's been missing for such and such time, and they haven't even broadcasted it.
You don't see no black females.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Missing.
So now, because of social media and people putting it on Facebook in different places, now, like he said, they're required. Because before, they only posted the violence. The only violence that they posted was black on black crime to show that we were killing ourselves, and when things happen to white people.
But they want to prove to white people that we're violent, and that's why
they showed the black on black crime.
But that's for me, that's so insulting, because if you read any report on violence, you are 7 times more likely to have violence occur to you by your own race. So to perpetrate this propaganda that we should be scared of each other, or we should be scared, or white people should be scared of us, is totally wrong. Because I would ask a white person who's scared of a black person, when was the last time you saw a black dude do anything wrong in your community?
Right.
And they probably can answer. I said to a friend of mine, the one from Idaho, he said, man, they shouldn't give all these kids in the hood guns. I said, let me ask you a question. They give all these white kids garages. Who building pipe bombs? Blowing up buildings. I said, you can knock my people because we kill each other in our neighborhood, but we ain't going to these anarchist movements trying to massively eradicate races of people. I said, so that they perpetrate this nonsense because the control factors that are put on information make us develop fears that aren't warranted.
So here's, and I want to get back to the police thing, but here's we will only go where they lead us. And what I mean by that is to sit and talk about a black person having a gun and black on black crime means that you totally ignore mob mentality. Mob's been doing it for decades. It's called organized crime. Okay, and just because these cats are riding around in blue outfits and red outfits and all that, when you get down to the nitty gritty of what they're doing, it's a form of organized crime.
It is.
They just don't have the system to help cover it up. Because with mobsters, notice that the most successful mobsters also have very successful, powerful leaders in their back pocket, whether it be a mayor, senator, whatever, right? That helps cover that, a judge to help cover that up. They don't have that access. But what is mobsters about? Mobsters are normally about money laundering. It's about drugs, whatever the case may be. The same thing with gang members. Gang members, their essence is drugs, period. And the fighting or the black on black crime that we talk about is normally when turfs have been infiltrated. Then it's called retaliation. It's kind of like a code out in the street. Well, there's innocent bystanders. You are absolutely right. But how many movies have I seen where the Tommy gun is in the back of the van and they don't care who they're shooting? No. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back to the police thing.
But you're right too with when it talks about the turf, because I talked to a guy and I said, what is it about the color, blue and red? He said, it's not about the color. He
It's
said
identity.
some gangs are caught up. It's all about colors
Right,
because
right.
they don't know no better.
Right.
He said, and me coming from California, I'm telling you, I need to know where my drugs are
Oh.
being sold.
Period.
And
It's
when you have
identification.
a red in where I have my blue, that means they're taking my money. So that's just like you going to my grocery store that I'm selling these good groceries and taking my client.
No, and setting up a
And
cash
setting a shop
register
in
my
inside the
grocery store.
grocery
Exactly,
store,
inside
talking
my-
about this is Albertsons inside of, or this is Whole Foods inside
Inside
of
of
Albertsons.
Albertsons.
What? No, go to your building.
And that's what he explained it to me. So
Right,
he said
right.
it's not about the color, it's about where I know my products are being.
Now, when it comes to police, okay, I have great people that I know that are police officers that work in the police force, that type of thing. But here's the thing: in every job, you have people that sign up for the job and don't do the
Wrong
job.
reasons.
Exactly.
Okay, we know whether
Yes.
it's working in the warehouse, you
Exactly.
got that one cat that do all that talking and don't not no box. You know what I'm saying? He leave work all energized, your back hurt, your feet hurt. You start thinking, you didn't do anything today, right?
Right.
The same thing happens is you have people that get into it for power.
Right.
And if you're getting into police work for power, you're going to abuse it. Period,
Right.
point blank. You're just
Yeah,
going to
that's it.
abuse it.
That's
You
right.
have people that get into it because they want to have control.
Yeah.
Or they saw on TV with Starsky and Hutch and Miami Vice, and that's for real, man. That's the image that Chips. That's the image they have is I want to be out there and I want to be respected. And so you got people that will go and get jobs because they lack what they want in their own life. Mm-hmm. Nobody respects them in their own life, so what do?
They do a job,
Go
they
become a cop
demand it.
and make you respect me.
Demand it.
And that's where you begin to have situations where rights are violated, things of that nature, but we don't know how to handle those situations properly. Same situation I was talking about before where I was involved in a situation trying to mediate it. And something I noticed, I've never noticed this before. There were two white people that was in the group, okay? Now, I want to look in the camera and tell you, my white people, I love you. And I thank you for your desire to help and assist. But I'm going to show you something that kind of bothered me because also I couldn't explain to them. If you're white, and we use the term that everybody thinks is a bad word, white privilege. Folks get offended when you use that term. But the truth of the matter is there is a privilege to being a white person. Okay? There's a great privilege to being a white male.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also a privilege to being a white
generally
female.
white.
Okay? All right? The problem is when white people come to help the black cause and want the black people to handle it like a white person. Honey, that's the problem. We can't handle it like a white. So I'm listening to these people in this setting, in this room, talking about, no, this is just wrong. And y'all need to pump your brakes, because here's the problem. If we come into this situation responding to like you do, we get labeled the angry black man or the angry black woman. Or the police, you get shot. But just in any kind of, standing up for it, we have to be very strategic and very intentional with the way we respond, with the way we come together. Should it be that way? No. But is it our reality? Yes. So therefore you adapt to it. And so I would encourage any Caucasian that's out there, if you want to help the cause, you have to always be mindful that they don't have the same leeway and the same right that I have. They can't just yell from a mountaintop. Let us both be. Let a black person, white person be in the restaurant. Your food wasn't right. I admire this. I love seeing this. My Caucasian brothers and sisters, this is what they do. Excuse me. My food is messed up. I ordered such and such. Well, we can take it back. No, because I've been here for an hour and 45 minutes, and I should not have had to wait that long for it to come here messed up. Will you please go get your manager? Right now. They demand it. And guess what happens?
The manager
comes right out.
Y'all, I'm not joking, and I'll name drop here. I was just in Portland last week. We had very poor service. I asked for the manager. Today is Saturday, and I'm still waiting for the manager. The manager never came out.
And don't have to.
And was not planning to.
And don't have to.
You understand what I'm saying? And so it's one of those things where, is that my, now, will they get my money anymore? Absolutely not. I don't have to, you know what I'm saying?
But
It's
you
not
better
a
have paid for
necessity.
it before you left.
Oh, no, I couldn't have just said, I'm not, oh, that's something else, all right,
Yeah,
brother
you
and
can't-
sister.
it can-
I'm not paying for this. No, I'm not paying for this. I'm not paying for this because of the service. The food was great. Matter of fact, white people can eat all the food and then still say they're not going to pay for it.
My homeboy did that. He worked in Idaho.
We get the police call
The
us.
police is gonna call. No, you're staying in this building till you pay me.
I was so happy to be with him that day, and because here's the smart move I had to do. I sat there and I ain't say a word.
You don't say none at all.
Jay was doing all the talking.
But you know what Jay will do when he's done?
Come on, Ty, we're out of here. And I was like, I'm with him.
That's what Jay will do. Jay, hey, Ty, get up. No, leave that.
He's with me. Let's go.
And you go. But
Had
you
that
do
been the other way
yourself?
around, and I said, he's with me. If I said Jay was with me,
He would have been in trouble just like you.
No, he would have been. Why are you with him?
True that.
You want to talk about some real racism, and then I talk about the shootings that happen in these churches. All right, despicable. Right, I think it was completely horrible. But I look at how that young man was treated, how he was portrayed in the media
Oh, absolutely.
as being disturbed, as being
We have to deal
quite
with
possibly
mental health.
mentally.
We have to address mental health in the United States. This is what all the news outlets were saying.
They were showing this
him-
wonderful picture where he was solemn, and then you see Trayvon Martin's photo, and he has a hood on his head.
Or what about the young gentleman that was shot down behind his mom's house?
But
You know,
And they
they're
said
looking
that-
for his grades, what kind of student he was.
This is the deal.
Right.
This is the deal. Now, I want to make a public notice. This
It's
does
not a gun.
not look like.
You better not drop it
gun.
in that pizza.
It
I know
don't
that
look
much.
close.
You better not
You
mess that
understand
with
what I'm
him.
It don't even resemble anything of. Now, back in the day, we used to have some big old gigantic phones, and you probably couldn't tell. Good Lord, it was probably as big as your arm, and you sitting up there like. But no, this there is no way. And for
You
them to
mistake
be
that for a
allowed
gun.
to keep utilizing it as an excuse to shoot somebody, it's ridiculous now.
You know what the
If you
sad part
did it
is?
at first, that's one thing.
But it keeps
now,
happening.
if that's the only excuse, then you're saying you're a liar, and I'm telling you, you're a liar to your face,
100%.
and you're gonna go to
100%.
hell.
The truth,
You going ahead.
because the truth of the matter is this: I've gone through artillery training. That don't look nothing like what I've seen in training.
It don't look like a
No.
barrel of a gun.
Oh.
It don't look like
It don't even
nothing.
resemble.
Nothing.
You can flash it. I don't care if it's dark. Like, the fact of the matter is, people's mindsets have been trained in a certain way,
And
and
I
they
wanna-
perpetrate that in their
And I
actions.
want to insert one other thing. Not only because when you brought up the training, there are people who are training to be police officers who are scared.
For their lives.
Scared for their lives. Do you know what happens when you put someone in a tense situation with a gun who's scared for their lives?
Yep.
If you're not
Equipped.
able mentally
Yeah.
to control yourself, police is not the job for you. Because you got these happy trigger fingers because they're scared for their lives and they're shooting people.
But their supervisors should catch that.
So
Yes,
this
but
is-
they're not being
Even
taught
at my
because there's
job,
not enough training
Even
and
if
evaluating.
in my job, if they after going through your training and after working the job for a little while, if they say that you're just not cut out, then they let you go, and that's what that probation
And that's what
period
needs
is
to
for.
start happening. But because they have a shortage of police officers,
Ah,
they're just taking whoever signs
And
up.
they don't feel like they're getting paid the
That's
money
right.
that they should be getting.
I applied and they sure did tell me I wasn't qualified, and I think I am. But as we already close, I think one simple fix would be this: if you do an accidental shoot on any simulator during your training,
You're done.
You
You're
flunked
done.
out.
You're done.
You flunked
You're
out.
done.
You got to come back later.
You're done because
You
that
gotta
might
say
be an
bye-bye.
accidental shoot in practice,
Exactly.
but in life, that's somebody's life.
Thank you for joining us in Joyful Heart Praise.
Yes.
I'm your host, Geraldine.
I'm Letha.
No time.
Marcus.
Join us back. Please subscribe. Push
Hit
the
that button.
Don't hit the bell.